Hey guys, so just picked up the new Black Sabbath album, 13. I know it's been a couple of weeks and I've just been lazy about it. Fucking awesome album. Has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about. I'm just really inspired by Tony Iommi right now. But that being the case, or not being the case since it has nothing to do with anything, is that the quality of your motion matters so much more than the quantity. You see, there are several trainers that I follow whose principles and seminars and workshops and books and videos that I dive into head first because they are worthwhile. And you see, one of the prevailing themes throughout all of them is you need to fix your movement first. You know, CrossFit's great. I like CrossFit. I've been following it since the early days before the CrossFit HQ thing was around and all that, and I think it's a shadow of its former self, quite honestly. But you see, with the more faster, bigger, stronger attitude that accompanies a lot of CrossFit, not all, but a lot of the CrossFit gyms out there, they do not really focus on good form. And the fact is, you know, depending on your natural and trained joint mobility and stability, you may have differing levels of whatever. But the major point is that if you can't move well, you really shouldn't be trying to do more of whatever it is you're doing poorly. People get into this habit of, I want to, you know, I want to bench 600 pounds, I want to deadlift 1,000 pounds, I want to do 6 million push-ups in a row. Well, that's great. Can you do one correctly? Because if you're doing, you know, partial reps, if you're doing unbalanced, and I don't mean unbalanced in the sense of instability training, I mean unbalanced in the sense of poor form. But, you know, if you don't have your structural alignment in place, if you're not, you know, dropping your pick, any of that, then you're not really doing yourself any benefits. You know, if you do push-ups and all you're doing is this, well, guess what? You're not really doing push-ups. Your push-ups should be here to here, here to here. Same thing, pull-ups. If you're just doing this, you're not doing pull-ups. But if you're grabbing, bring it down and back, then you're doing pull-ups. You got to work on the quality of your movement first. Don't even worry about doing timed rounds, about doing workouts of the day, about doing, you know, HIIT cardio, any of that. Don't worry about doing any of that until the motions you are going to be performing are being done well. If you look at Scott Sonnen's TACFit programs, one of the major things he focuses on is, you know, despite the fact that these are conditioning programs, you know, because they're at-home workouts and all that, he is saying you practice the technique, get in a few practice reps, understand what you're doing, and do it well. Go at the pace you need to do your form well, and over time, add the reps that you need to, because you can do these programs, you know, forever. I mean, you know, with varying variables, because you don't want to just plateau all the time. But if you start jumping into all of these high-intensity, highly competitive things before you even have the basic movements down, you're really fucking yourself. So don't worry about that yet. Don't worry about being able to do 100 push-ups in a row. Don't worry about being able to deadlift 400, 500 pounds yet. Grab a bar and go through the motions. Get on the floor, go through the motions. Work your neural system. Work the neuromuscular system and get the patterns down, because if your patterns are poor, your results are going to be poor, and even if you somehow compensate for those poor results, you're going to end up in a position for much, much greater risk of injury later on. That's all I got for you. Rant over. I'm going to get back to Black Sabbath, and I will talk to you later. Good journey.